challenges, or whether it's pain, whatever it is. And he just said, you can't focus on one thing, because it will eat you alive. And he has the wisdom, and he had the wisdom, and he shared the wisdom that life is bigger, no matter what you're going through. The sun is shining, you have love in your life, that you can free yourself from the pain. And then finally, I got a text from a dear friend. The levels of pain, I'm not sure what they are, but I haven't let go. I am in denial, and I am in pretend that I'm going to get through every day. Because no words can describe what he meant to me. And the quote that this friend sent was, "It hurts as much as it's worth." And Joe's effect on my life, and the pain of waking up without him every day. Hurts so much, and it makes me so angry that I have to feel this pain to understand his true worth in my life. Joe, I love you now, and I love you forever.
Todd is going to accompany Joe back to Thailand and will represent us there. Now,
hi, I'm Joe's sister that he stayed with when he was here, and Todd's daughter. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about my favorite memories I have of Joe aren't amongst the most exciting memories that we've shared together, and definitely not something that he was writing home to Thailand to tell his mother about. But for some reason, these simple memories are the ones that I cherish the most. I cherish the memory of walking by the living room late at night and seeing the glow of a scary movie on the TV, walking in and seeing Joe completely passed out on the couch with the dog in his arms, feeling silly to think that he ever could have been awake because he hates scary movies. I recall the truly countless number of times where my dad would be grilling steaks outside and Joe and I would be in the kitchen, Joe banging the tongs on the counter with a big smile on his face, preparing himself for his favorite food, and probably his third steak of that week. He was by far the most spoiled child out of all of us, but I loved it that way. I remember when he dropped our sister Emily off at the megabus station on her return to Pittsburgh, and Joe rolled down the window and screamed, "I love you so much, sister," as she boarded the bus and tried to avoid all eye contact with us. Maybe it's the incalculable number of texts and calls I've received from Joe asking me to pick him up from the flagpole at school, even though we lived only a half mile away. That made me feel like the big sister I never was, or the big hug he'd give me every morning, followed by, "Good morning, sister, how did you sleep?" That made me appreciate having such a loving brother. Maybe it's the numerous times that we'd fight over who got to sit in the front seat that made me realize what a true Costello Joe was. But all of these tiny, simple memories combined make me appreciate that we did not allow a guest to live in our house for the time he was with us. Joe really was family to me. I cling to the memories of hearing his voice in our house or seeing his tall stature turn a corner. And when I've replayed these memories too many times for one day, I go and sit in his room as I am right now. I lie on his bed and wear one of his flannels trying to keep any bit of my Joe, of our brother and our son Joe, alive. I wish you were here right next to me, Joe. I wonder what you'd think of all this. I love you and I'll miss you forever.
Can you hear me? I'm Morgan, Anna's sister and Joe's sister and Todd's daughter. One of Joe's 7 host sisters he had here. This year was certainly the year of Joe. In the fall, the beginning of our time with him, and the quick realization as I saw how happy he made my parents, how easily he befriended my cousins, and how his smile never really faded. In the winter, his first Thanksgiving and Christmas, Joe getting in a lot of trouble on New Year's Eve and testing how much cold he could handle when he submerged himself in the frozen lake when we stayed at a cabin in December. And in the spring when he lived at the Cassidys, and the missing of Joe and hearing about when his next visit would be, and then those last few weeks we had with him. He was there for everything, for weddings and holidays, family events and trips. But more wonderfully, he was there in the mornings and had his 25-minute slow shower and lazy breakfast before asking me for a ride to school because he knew I wouldn't say no. In the afternoons when he would come home and yell, "Hello, family," loudly when he came in and expect a reply so he knew who was home and who he could hang out with. And the countless evenings watching TV and movies with him, or seeing him and Dad as they worked their way through Breaking Bad and every father-son movie that my dad thought was crucial to his education here. In the wake of Joe, I can't remember him enough, I can't look at too many photos, and I can't reread our texts too much. The "I love yous" and the "I miss yous," and when he first came here and his English wasn't so good, "be my good sister forever." A memory I love is of Joe and I at my cousin's wedding, and Keenan, Joe, and I are the last people on the dance floor, spinning and twirling around and doing crazy interpretive dances while holding candles we had taken from the tables until everyone had left and we had to go home. We all are here now with our memories of Joe, some of us with so many that it's hard to recall all of them, and some of us maybe with one shining moment of a joke he played on us or a kindness he showed us. Either way, we were all able to witness his light, his joy, and his love. To me, it feels like he came and pumped us all up full of love and left. In his leaving, he cracked us open, and now we're left with this mess, and we don't know how to fix it yet. But in his leaving, he still brought us together, as he did this year with my family. And there has been so much love and kindness and compassion in his passing. Thank you all for being a part of the year of Joe.
Hello, I'm Margie, Joe's mom, one of his moms. A few days before Todd and I were to bring Anna, our youngest daughter, to college, we received a call from Carl Hill in Rotary. Due to unforeseen circumstances, he needed a host family for a young man arriving from Thailand. Would we consider? We slept on it overnight, then said yes. That was how Sirawit Kantaburanan entered into our lives, otherwise known as Joe. But he has a beautiful name in Thai. A couple of days later, we met Joe. Right from the start, it felt like meeting someone you've always known. He was polite and kind. With a warm smile, and he quickly became a member of our family. Our dog Benji loved him immediately, and the feeling was mutual. Benny slept with Joe every night. Our 3 daughters finally got the brother they've always wanted. Joe lived with us from the end of August until the end of January, then went to live with his second host family, Maureen Cassidy and her daughters. Joe returned to our home May 20th. Although Anna and Morgan were in college and Emily lives in Pittsburgh, Whenever the girls were home, they quickly bonded and had many fun times together. There was lots of laughter, music, and picture taking. We took family trips together to Rockaway Beach, New York, cabin camping over Christmas break, and a family wedding in Du Bois. That was Joe's first American wedding. We all had a blast. Much of our life together was normal family stuff. Since I work at the high school, Joe would ride to work with me each day. In the beginning, I would wake him up, but that soon wore off, and I treated him like my own child, which meant getting up on your own. Some mornings he would be running late, and there was one day when he missed the Marge bus and had to walk to school. But he wasn't upset. He went with the flow. I recently spoke with Joe's parents and asked them why he joined Rotary. His mom said that it was always his dream to see the world, and he filled out all the forms and did all the paperwork required to join the Rotary program. He was focused and determined, and he made it happen. He said yes to life. This is part of Joe's legacy to me, to say yes, be open to new experiences, new friends, new cultures. It's good, he would say. Say yes. Some of my fondest memories of Joe are how as soon as he entered our house, he'd say, "Hello, Marge, you home?" And if he didn't see Todd, he'd ask, "Where's him?" He was friendly, kind, positive, and helpful, and he was also a typical teenage boy, forgetful, a bit lazy, and always hungry. He loved bacon and steak, and he and Todd would grill steaks and savor each butter-seared bite in complete food heaven. As I mentioned, he loved our dog Benji. He'd take him on walks, bathe him, yet also playfully teased him with popcorn and treats. Regardless, Benny adored him. Joe was a gift that we didn't know we wanted or needed. He has changed our lives forever, and we are not the same. I'll close with a quote. We are not our bodies, and our relationships don't exist in our bodies. They exist in our hearts, in our mind, in our soul.
Hi. I'm Joe's second host mom, if you don't know, and my name is Maureen. The mom of 4 daughters, and the reason Joe was always smiling, what teenage boy wouldn't be smiling around 3 or 4 beautiful blonde girls every day?